Hello and welcome to Thrive After 45. I'm Denise Drinkwalter, heart whisperer, midlife mirror, and mentor. And every week, I am absolutely honored to share energy and space with inspiring guests whose stories reflect so many possibilities of thriving beyond 45. Together, we uncover the whispers of the heart, the power of midlife transformation, and that wisdom that fuels expansion. Because when one woman turns her light on, the rest of the room catches fire. So, what happens when a government tries to silence a man's life's work? And instead of disappearing, it ignites a movement that reaches hundreds of thousands of people around the world. My guest today didn't choose this path because it was convenient. She chose it because someone had to. When the French government moved to destroy her father's decades of scientific research, Sylvie Beljanski didn't step aside. She stepped forward. And for the past 30 years, she has dedicated her life to ensuring that her father's work, natural, integrative approaches to supporting the body through cancer, not only survived, but thrived. As founder and president of the Beljanski Foundation and the Maison Beljanski, she has become a quiet but fierce force for people who find themselves facing a cancer diagnosis and searching for something beyond what they've been handed. Not as a replacement for treatment, but a way of honoring the body while navigating it all. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our show today, Sylvie. What an honor and a privilege it is to have this conversation with you today. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you, Denise, for having me. And oh gosh, you managed to give me chills while you were thinking about my own life. I was like, it's you made it feel like it was a movie, and thank you for that.
You know what? What a great idea. It really could become a movie.
We'll see. We'll see about that.
Such a conversation we're going to have today because we all know someone, if we are not already touched by this disease that seems to infiltrate our world in ways that seem to shock us every time it happens, even though we know how prevalent it is and how wide it is across the world. It's not just one specific area; it's everywhere, and the offshoots that exist are just incredible. And yet, what you are bringing forward to the world and have been working for 30 years on, we have to understand the depths of what you are doing and where it all began. I referenced it very, very gently in the beginning, but I would absolutely love our audience to hear your story because when I heard your story, well, what did I say? We have to have you on the show. We have to have people hearing about this, particularly the women in midlife years, because not only the story behind it is how you became so heavily involved. So,
Yeah.
without any further ado, we'd love to hear.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Denise. But I have to start actually with my father's story because otherwise it's difficult to understand where the research is coming from.
Beautiful.
And my father grew up in Serbia, what was at the time Yugoslavia, but now Serbia. As a little peasant, his family had absolutely no money, when he was absolutely determined to go to school and become a biologist. And after World War II, the government in Yugoslavia did not have money to have universities. So they were sending the rich students who had a fur coat to Moscow and the poor students who did not have a fur coat to Paris. And that's how my father arrived in Paris just after World War II, not speaking French at the time, but again, determined to become a biologist, a scientist. And indeed, he got his PhD, but he always had kind of he had a different background from all the elite scientists of France. And so in the 60s, when the Watson and Crick had just discovered the double helix of the DNA, and all the scientists as a one way of official way of thinking and one way, a
Yeah.
necessary way to go, and they
Hmm.
all went into the idea that cancer was a genetic disease and that the new knowledge about the double helix would help create genetic induced drugs that would lead to new patents, make a lot of money, and that was the future of medicine.
Hmm.
My father was one of the first one to say, well, cancer is not just a genetic disease. Yes, you can have some genetic mutations, but if it was just a genetic disease, there would be a pretty stable number of cancer. Or
Mm.
we see a rising number of cancer already in the 1670s. So it's that our environment is changing. Companies are creating a lot of synthetic molecules that they are throwing into the atmosphere without any kind of testing. And at the same time, we are seeing this increase in the number of cancer. Could it be that some environmental toxins are affecting our DNA and inducing cancer?
Mm.
And starting from that, not only was able to confirm this observation, but
Mhm.
he went into looking into some natural plant extracts that would specifically make the difference between cancer DNA, healthy DNA, inhibit the growth, the development of cancer DNA, and have no effect, no toxicity on healthy cells. So
Ooh.
he became extremely famous with that. He published everything. He left 133 peer-reviewed papers, and
Mm-hmm.
he got the interest of a lot of French doctors because it is kind of one fits all. Whatever kind of cancer, it's not gender of organ specific. It will recognize cancer cells, destroy them without any added toxicity.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of followers. There was not such a word at the time back in the 80s, early 90s, but there were doctors really following my father's work and using successfully the products. Now we arrive in the early 90s, and my father was asked to help François Mitterrand, the former French president, with his advanced prostate cancer. What happened is that Mitterrand was diagnosed with advanced prostate cancer. The surgeon said he's not going to be able to finish his second term. Terms were 7 years at the time. And
Mm-hmm.
the cancer has spread everywhere. We are going to give him some morphine to keep him comfortable, and we are going to prepare the country for early elections. And a number of powerful people were extremely happy with the idea that to prepare early elections. New elections are new opportunities for a lot of political people. But Mitterrand had a mistress, and the mistress knew about the a good doctor who had great results on prostate cancer, and Mitterrand started to take the products, and against all odds. And for everybody to see, because he was a president, there was no social
Sure.
media at the time, but yet,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, he was a president, he was on TV, and the president was doing better and better. And that, I mean, a number of powerful people and powerful people involved in drug companies were really concerned that that would give some legitimacy to some natural products and to what was going to become, the word did not exist back in the 90s, integrative medicine.
Hmm.
So exactly 9 months after Mitterrand passed away, they sent a SWAT team with guns, dogs, an helicopter circling around above the laboratory. And they arrested my father, they arrested my mother, they arrested the doctors working with them, the pharmacists working with them, and they tried to really to destroy as many documentation, as many samples, as many research instruments as they could.
Oh, unbelievable.
Yeah. And so that leads to my story.
Yeah, of course.
So my story, I grew up, I mean, in this family where there were uh, people crying because they had been diagnosed with cancer, had been coming to the apartment all the time. And I was like, when I grow up, I don't want to get involved. Absolutely not. 5 generations of scientists before me, we are stopping the curse here. And I went to law school. And I was working in a New York law firm as a foreign legal associate when I learned that both of my parents had been arrested. So I was extremely surprised. I knew my parents' ethics. I knew they had not done any wrongdoing. But
Right.
so the first thing I said, I'm going to jump in and take care of the legal defense. And the
Yeah.
more I was looking at the legal file, the more things did not add up. And it was
Uh,
clear it was not about bringing some people to justice. It was about destroying evidence. And I knew that the evidence was about helping people with cancer because I grew up seeing
yeah.
those people. And
Yeah.
then I said, I'm not going to allow this knowledge to disappear. I don't have the knowledge. I'm going to find out. I'm going to learn. I'm going to educate myself. And I'm going to salvage everything that can be salvaged.
Wow.
So that's how I started. And I have to say that so many people came out of nowhere who did not know me, but just were hoping so much that I could do eventually something to salvage whatever could be salvaged, products, information, research, but make sure that this would continue to be available. They
Right.
give me so much trust, so
Mm.
much help, and at the same time, such a burden of
Yeah.
expectations that I just could not fail them.
Yeah. And so how long ago was all of this in the 90s?
Yeah, so my
Yeah.
father, the SWAT team against the laboratory was in 96. My
Okay.
father, they radiated him and he was very, very sick from 96 to 98. The French government, I mean, destroyed everything, destroyed him physically through some
Oh.
kind of radiation. And then they would not give him his day in court. I finally took the case to the European Court of Human Rights, and we won an unanimous case because they would rather lose the case before the European Court of Human Rights than explain what they had done and why they had done it. And they classified the case, Beljanski, as a secret defense.
Wow.
Helping people with cancer in a natural means.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
secret defense.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why I'm doing what I am doing. And I love it. I started with a lot of anger, a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
bet.
resentment. I was absolutely infuriated for what they had done to my dear parents.
Yes.
But as I started with the Beljanski Foundation, and
Hmm.
since there was no more laboratory, I started by creating partnerships with a number of academic institutions here in the States. I felt actually in love with the research, with the results, and I became so proud to have the
Yeah.
opportunity to come on stage and share this knowledge. I
Hmm.
felt I am blessed actually with the opportunity to help people to make a difference in so many lives, in sharing this
Yeah.
beautiful, so unique research and getting the interest of doctors. I was seeing, integrative doctors. They were MDs, and I'm nothing, and their eyes were lighting up, and they telling me that's fantastic. And I want to try on my patients, and that's how it grew. And I mean that's so unique. I mean, so unique, so priceless.
Yeah. So tell us, with the research that was done up until the point the rug was taken out from underneath, are you continuing to do the research to continue to ensure that the legacy is not only being moved forward, but also continuing to grow and morph as you learn more through the scientific
Yeah,
realm? Yeah.
yeah. So at first, I mean, the idea was to confirm that my father's vision of cancer, concept of cancer, and was accurate, and that his plant extracts were doing what he said they were doing. So
Yeah.
that's the work that was done initially, and we worked with Columbia University on prostate cancer, and then Kansas University Medical Center on ovarian and pancreatic cancer, in vitro, in vivo, in laboratory. And we were able to confirm that those plant extracts indeed are non-toxic to healthy cells, are effectively killing cancerous cells wherever they are located. We worked on different kind of cancer cell lines and
Oh,
different stages of cancer, from inflammation to full-blown cancer to advanced cancer, which does not respond to hormonal treatment anymore. So
okay.
all that's documented now by peer-reviewed papers from independent academic institutions.
Hmm.
And we have also been able to go forward. And that's the part which
Yeah.
excites me the most. It's cancer stem cells. Doctors do not speak about cancer stem cells because conventional treatments like chemotherapy, radiotherapy, they do not kill cancer stem cells.
Hmm.
Cancer stem cells are not the healthy cells that people associate with restorative medicine. They are also stem cells, meaning embryonic cells, but they are already cancerous in the womb, if I may say so, of cells that are already cancerous. And they will become eventually the metastasis of
Mm.
another organ. So the idea that we can fight those cancer stem cells from day one of diagnosis,
Wow.
from day one, without waiting for the metastasis to come, I mean, to come and then having to
Yeah.
fight cancer again, but on day one, address all kinds of cancer cells, including cancer stem cells. I think that's absolutely fabulous.
Absolutely.
So
Wow.
we have done the work on
Yeah.
ovarian and pancreatic cancer stem cells at Kansas University Medical Center. That's led to beautiful publications. We are just wrapping up a beautiful research on breast cancer stem cells. And
Mm.
that's so important. About 20% of women concerned with breast cancer will have a relapse,
Yeah.
but 100% live in fear that the cancer can come back. So it means we can make a difference for 100 of people who are concerned with breast
Yeah.
cancer.
Yeah.
And now we are, I mean, the next step, if we are going to host a conference in San Diego, June 26 to 29, the
Hmm.
Beljanski Integrative Cancer Conference. And for 3 days, we are going to have experts of integrative medicine coming from all over the country to share their modalities, their approach, and so on. And this is also a fundraising because we would like to be able to fund a new round of research on prostate cancer stem cells.
Mm.
Breast cancer is a killer number one when it comes to cancer for women. Prostate cancer is killer number one for men. So I really hope, I mean, I assume we are going to see similar results. There is no reason why we would not see, but when it
Yeah,
comes
of
to
course.
science, you have to do the research. There is no shortcut. So I'm very, very excited with that.
And so that conference convention that you're speaking of, is that open to the public as well, or is it?
Absolutely. And I really encourage everybody concerned with cancer to come because it is the opportunity for 3 days to listen to a lot
Yeah.
of experts, a lot of doctors, and see if there is somebody you like, somebody you want to become a patient with of,
Hmm.
and you will feel good to be helped, supported with this doctor for the duration of your treatment. I think it's very, very important to have professional help when
Hmm.
going through something as difficult as cancer. It's also very helpful to have the support of a holistic functional doctor, not
Hmm.
just not just being a number at
Yeah.
the hospital. I mean,
Yeah.
the hospital at its value,
Yeah.
but there is so much more you can do to minimize the side effects, to reinforce what conventional treatment can do, to take
Hmm.
care of the side effects, and also to address cancer stem cells. Because
Right?
again, chemotherapy, radiotherapy won't do anything about that.
Yeah.
And I want to say that, conventional medicine is not making progress when it comes to cancer. The numbers of cancer keep rising. And one of the reasons is that conventional medicine is just cutting, burning, radiating cancer cells without addressing the whole body. And I'll try to help you understand how you became sick in the first place, how to heal seriously not your body. You are much more than a tumor. And you have to understand
Mm.
what is going on with the rest of the body beyond the tumor to really help your body fight back
Hmm.
and fully heal.
Yeah.
But you have to understand the disease. Why did you become sick? What is your body telling you
Yeah.
through the development of this tumor?
Yeah. I love what you just landed on right there. You are not your tumor. You are
Exactly.
so much more.
Yeah.
And I I've had not personal experience, but my husband has a diagnosis. Our daughter had a diagnosis. And so what you're speaking of just gives me more than hope. Do you know what I mean? It's giving me opportunity to go and explore, to go to your Maison Beljanki, right? Like I need to go to your
Yes.
house. I need to come to your house and check it all out because the more information we're able to glean from a variety of well researched, this is not, if you were been listening, you realize this is not a flash in the pan, people. This is life's work for this family. And the way Sylvie came into it wasn't what she really wanted. But you know what? There's a reason why it has happened that way, I believe.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. And I would not go back to law for anything.
Isn't that amazing, eh?
Yeah.
And when you were younger, you couldn't get out quick enough.
Yeah. 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 But but
Yeah.
but to go back to what you were saying, we are more
Yeah.
than a tumor.
Yeah.
Sorry. When I
Yeah.
give a lecture, I like to tell people, I mean, the first thing they are, where can I find those extracts and blah, blah, blah after I present the research. But I
Sure.
keep telling them, those plant extracts, they are going to support you at the cellular level, but you are much more than cells.
Yes.
So the big question is those you are going to have support. This is going to give your body some time. What are you going to do with this time? And time, people have to use the time to educate themselves, understand why they got sick. And there is nothing that, there is no shortcut of, you
Yeah.
cannot just eh, avoid education to understand what happened. So things like a conference or a book that is an easy read, but help understand the physiology of cancer, I mean, is a good way to start, I believe. But you have to generally, I mean, people who make it and heal on the long way. And I've seen people coming to me saying, "Hey, so do you recognize me?" And I was like, "Sorry." Well, I gave you a testimonial 20 years ago. I was starting the products at the time, and I was telling that thanks to the products, there was no burns, no side effects to chemotherapy. And here I am 20 years later, and thank you, because thanks to you, I believe I became a grandmother, this and that. And so they have gray hair, of course, I'm not going to recognize them 20 years
Yeah,
later.
of course.
But I absolutely love those stories. And when I dig further, the people who are making it on the long term are those who are looking at cancer as an opportunity to clean their lives, actually, of everything which is unnecessary, which is toxic, physically, emotionally, and
Mhm.
can be a bad boss. It can be a bad relationship. But
Yeah.
you have to learn to let go, and you have to learn also to look at your body as a temple and try to put things as little toxic as possible.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why I love our conversation today because we're not here saying, go and get the product. That's not what we're talking about.
No.
We're talking about so much more. There is research, there is information, and you are the pilot of your own life. And what your incredible depth of knowledge and years of research and the people you continue to bring into to support the continued growth of the knowledge, not the just about the here's the product. There's so much more involved. And I love that because to me, you're talking about real people, real situations, and a real desire to help make a difference in the world with something that is, like we talked about at the beginning, cancer is everywhere. And you mentioned it was growing in the 60s and 70s. I'm curious, is it still growing more even today?
Oh, yes, the number of cancer keeps increasing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there you have seen new treatments. I mean, I'm seeing some, I mean, ads now for some, to invest into some new company who is developing a drug saying on TV, I saw see that they extend for pancreatic cancer, they extend lives. When you look at the study itself, it extends lives for 6 months.
Yeah.
I mean, 6 months where you are bedridden and with receiving infusion of chemotherapy, is that
Yeah.
progress?
Yeah. Really do your research, right? Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. I'd like to take a little bit of time to talk about your specific journey, since what we are talking about and talking to women in midlife years is when we hit certain bumps in the road or walls in our face, whatever
Yeah.
it may be. Can you share with us how on earth did it go from being a lawyer to all of it, not all of a sudden, but how did all of that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was, I mean, deciding that getting involved and helping my parents was a 3 minute decision. But after that, I mean, implementing was really something else. I was
Right.
working full time. I mean, at first, at first I was not going to make money just with an idea. So I started to build the project while working at the same time, continue to work at the same time. Then in the law firm, then I went to part-time the following year. And then it's only after 2 years that I completely gave up on my professional legal career. And it was extremely difficult decision because I
I,
loved working
yeah.
as a lawyer. I had invested a lot of effort
Mm,
in going to law school, and it was a difficult decision, but I felt I was going to serve something bigger than me, and that supported me
mm,
in my decision. The
mhm.
other thing that was quite difficult is I was married to a New York lawyer who had married me as a sweet French girl,
I love it.
a foreign legal associate, with no connection in New York. I mean,
Mm.
he, he was the alpha male at a bargain, if I
Gotcha,
may say
gotcha,
so.
gotcha. I gotcha.
I mean, and when I started with my company to become more successful, when I became to make more money than him, he did not like it at all. He
Oh,
became extremely nasty,
oh,
aggressive to me, and at the beginning, I did not really realize. I thought that that was the problem. The man I married could be that petty and that unsupportive. So I thought maybe he's going through a bad phase. Maybe he has problems at his work and so on. And I was pretty patient. And then at
yeah.
some point, he started to become violent, and
Oh,
I absolutely said that
yeah,
this is not acceptable.
yeah,
This is
yeah,
not sex. I mean, be nasty. I can try to ignore that, put
yeah,
that
yeah.
aside, but physical violence, no.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I filed for divorce. I
Hmm.
survived divorcing a New York lawyer, which was kind of achievement. The most important was for me was to keep my company. I
Yeah.
really focused what is really important to me, and
Hmm.
everything else is just material.
Yeah.
Unburden me with everything material. I will focus on what really matters
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
And then I had to really somewhat restart my company after all this distraction, all this time spent in court. But
Yeah.
um, I have to say that I have a very good team of people who have stayed with me for years. I've shared with my team my enthusiasm for the results of this research. I have to also try to give them the opportunity to grow with the company. I am trying to involve them in the decisions that we make because when I decide, for example, that we are going to create a conference, I know that's going to be a lot of work for all of us. We are a small team, and but I make sure that everybody is on board every time I make this kind of big decision.
Hmm.
And we have made it. And this year, I mean, this is 30 years. I
I
can't
know.
believe it, but 30 years that I've been running this company, 25 years for the foundation, and I am pretty proud of what we have achieved.
Yeah.
So thank you for
Absolutely.
the opportunity to share with your audience.
Absolutely. And I know this will resonate for so many of our listeners because as challenging as everything was, what I am hearing is that when you know what you are all about, everything else can go on to the side, and your focus is what helps you get through because you know who you are as a person, and you do that for you, by you, because of you, right? No
Yeah.
matter how hard it gets. And I'm so glad that you have the capacity to say, Nope, that's enough. You cannot cross that line. So good
Yeah.
for you. Yeah,
I felt I was going to become sick actually
I
if I
bet.
was staying in this relationship.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was time to escape and
Mhm.
survive.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And look what happened as a result when you focused on yourself and really put that bubble around of safety.
Uh,
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, taking care of myself is the most challenging part actually because I
yes.
am so much in love with what I am doing that I am putting my passion first before me, and always
Mm,
feel that I am going to be strong enough to survive whatever happens in my life. But now that I'm going to be 70 and I don't feel as strong as I was in the past, and I feel there is a bigger and bigger need to take the time to take care of myself.
I love that. So, how do you start to give your permission to do that? Do you listen to your body, or are you starting to create other ways to do it as well?
I try to slow down, take a little
Hmm.
bit less professional obligations, take
Yep.
some time for things that I
Nice.
uh, enjoy doing, and also yes, taking more time for physical activity,
Hmm.
reconnecting, long walks in nature, and these kind of things, which I just neglected for a long time.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you see what you get to change now in order to continue to do. Because as we all know, and I've been there too, we all know when we don't fill our own cup, we are not as good in the other arenas of life that we are in. So we talk about this all the time on our show because we talk about the importance of doing for you, by you, because of you, and how long we put ourselves on the last to do item on that list, right?
Yeah.
And it's like we never get to that third page of the list. We know that. Sylvie, is there anything that you would love to share with our audience that we haven't talked about or that you feel our listeners really need to sink into this seed of possibility?
Well, I would like to share my book,
Yes.
Winning the War on Cancer, the Epic Journey Towards a Natural Cure. It's an easy read. It reads like a novel, and but it has received a lot of prizes for that because at the same time you read it easily. I mean, people tell me I could not put it down. They learn a lot of things about cancer. So I wrote the book with the idea if you have somebody around you who you know is concerned with cancer, but you don't know where to start,
Hmm.
how to explain, you have no idea to speak about research, you don't want to be intrusive, you don't want to have your friend push back on you like I'm the best
Yep.
doctor, thank you. Uh, Offering a book, giving a book is a way which is absolutely not invasive. It's just a little gift. And
Yeah.
this book, I have been told, is able to open the eyes of a lot of people.
Mm.
So you can make a difference just by offering a book. And it's an easy way to open the eyes to some people to the possibilities of integrative medicine. And then also, if you can advertise about the fact that there is this conference in San Diego, I mean, this also can help a lot of people. The next step,
Yeah.
if you
Right.
are interested in learning more about integrative medicine, I think it's a great opportunity. If you cannot travel to San Diego, there is also virtual tickets, so you can have the knowledge without the travel. And I think that is an easy way also to
Yeah.
absorb a lot of knowledge and then make the choices which are the best for you, but knowing what you need to know
Yeah.
about taking care of yourself in those difficult times.
Hmm. Beautiful. What a pleasure to spend this time with you today. I've learned so much, and I know that in the show notes, we will have all the ways to access the information. The link to your book will get in there. Everything will be in there.
Yeah.
Um, I'd love to also put in a link, if we can, a link to the conference tickets so that people can grab them from there. That'd be great.
Absolutely. It is on the website of the conference and the foundation. So the foundation is beljanski.org and the
Yeah,
conference is integrativecancerconference.com. And there is, of course, all the tickets. I would like to add that all the proceeds of the event are going to cancer research. And all my authors' proceeds for the book are also going to the Foundation for Research. I gave away to the foundation my copyright, so it's I'm not
beautiful.
making anything out of that.
Well, you are making something out of it in
But
that
not
you are
money.
giving back, right? So, yeah, even more than what you would do just putting it into your coffers. So, thank you so much. I'm so glad we've had this opportunity to connect, share with our community what is possible when you take the time for you, by you, because of you. And before we close, I want to tell everyone about a room of our own. This November, I am looking to host a live in person experience, and we're calling it Ignite the Inner Uprising. It's a 2 day immersive gathering for women in midlife who are feeling a quiet pull towards something more truthful, embodied, more fully their own. It's an extension of these types of conversations. And as you heard with Sylvie, that we are looking at the whole and we are not pulling it all apart, but we're looking at who we are as a person and not through the roles we've played throughout the years in our lives. And our reflection that we take at this 2 day experience becomes embodied, where insight becomes integrated, and women who have held so much for others are finally gathering to stand fully in our own sovereignty. So, if something in you stirred today, make sure you check the show notes. Find out more about what is possible when you do the research for you, by you, because of you, through the lens of gaining knowledge to make decisions on what's best for you. And if you started to lean in, that's not an accident when I started talking about Ignite. The wait list is open. Something in your future will thank you for being in that room. Join the wait list. It's calling your name. So the link is in the show notes. And as always, follow, like, share, give us reviews so that more women can find these incredible conversation. And always remember when one woman turns her light on, the rest of the room does catch fire.